What's happening, Sunderland fans? Silver Fox here, back again for another preview. And this time it is Sunderland taking on West Ham at the Stadium of Light. Oh, this is going to be an iffy one. Because there's so much rumour and hearsay floating about. Personally, one part of it I do believe, but the other part seems a bit, I don't know, it's a rumour that seems dysfunctional, to be honest with you, because rumour that Dick Advocate has lost the dressing room. Well, they're very interesting. When you look at it, the performances they've been putting in, I don't know, you can't start a season and say you've lost the dressing room immediately. That just makes no sense. Unless you've told every player they're fucking wank, then yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they come back off the loss of 3-0 against Man United. If you haven't seen that review, I advise you not to. Fucking hell, it was depressing. But yes, I'm back. I'm refreshed. You know, I don't feel depressed now, thank God. And of course, you know, West Ham going into the game, they've just they've earned a rather scruffy draw against Norwich. They didn't just throw the kitchen sink; they threw the fucking bathtub, everything, the TV at them, in order to get that equaliser. So yeah, there's our defence fucked then. No, this game for me, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be West Ham will steamroller us, or we're going to have a scruffy draw. And I mean, by scruffy draw, I mean like a 0-0 draw. You know, much like Man City, West Ham, their form of greatness will come to an end. It has to. Everyone's boasting about Man City, they're going to win the title. And then out of nowhere, who's creeping up the table behind them? Manchester United. Who's now taken that top spot going in this weekend? Manchester United. You know, so this one's going to be quite hard, to be honest with you. But we'll go into the other rumour as well, which I do believe could be true, and the fact that this could potentially be Dick Advocate's last game in charge. Because Ellis Short's going to have to do something. You know, I wouldn't say he failed in the transfer window to put his money where his mouth is, but he failed to put enough money where his mouth is, put it that way. And you know, he did it again. He's put his money where his mouth is. He got us Dick Advocate, much largely thanks to Dick Advocate persuading his wife. But you know, this can't keep up. What, are we going to go till Christmas without a win? You know, and it's one of those things that, you know, it's good to know we've got a derby coming up, because when it comes to a derby match, Newcastle have always found a bit of form, and Sunderland have always been shit, and then it reverses round, you know, and it's, as a Sunderland fan, it's fucking great to see, that's for sure. But you know, going into it, everyone that I work with, they're all saying, you know, when it comes to the derby, it's just going to be a 0-0 dull draw. And the way it's going at the minute, you couldn't fucking agree more. If you're a betting man, you would put literally £1 million on a 0-0 draw. You really would. Yeah. So going into this weekend, anyway, West Ham, it's going to be a sticky game. It really is. It's going to be a hard-fought midfield battle. I reckon both sides will get chances, that's for sure. But you know, I kind of fancy West Ham to maybe start to sort of slip behind a little. You know, they might be third in the table now. I can't really see them staying there until the end of the season, to be fair. They haven't got enough depth in the squad. Don't get wrong, I'm not saying Chelsea will get third, because fucking hell, they're worse than Sunderland at the minute, and we're below them in the table, so that says a lot. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So I'm going to talk about, you know, the lineup I'll put out there, see if you agree or not. So obviously in goal has to be Pantilimon. who's been getting a lot frustrated lately, you know, because the defence just not protecting him enough. And I would ideally love to see, right, and let me know if you agree with this or not, defence. Put Jones on the left. He can play left, he's done it before. Easy. Then you have, and I can't believe I'm saying this name, Kabul and O'Shea, because for some reason whenever those two are together, they're more forceful with the defence. There's your centre-backs. On the right, DeAndre Yedlin. He did pretty well against Man City, you know, provided the cross for a start for us to at least claw a goal back and some dignity in that League Cup game. You know, you can't really say much about these players, by the way, for Man U, because it's a bit quiet, really, you know. Midfield, well, you see, now the midfield gets a bit complicated because Johnson, he didn't play the best against Man U. Dick Advocaat was wrong for slamming him, just picking him out alone. It's a team effort. If the team, you know, just because one player plays shit, you know, it doesn't mean that the whole team hasn't played shit, you know, because they did. You know, they weren't the best against Man U, don't get me wrong, they weren't the worst. Oh boy, weren't they, not. You want to look at the worst team for the weekend, look at Manchester City. That's an easy one. For last weekend, that is. So midfield, well, centre midfield, it's got to be an obvious one. It's got to be Jermaine Lens and Toivonen. Bear in mind I'm going for a 4-4-2 here. On the right, see now, this just gets... I don't know what's wrong with Seb Larsson on the right. If we to bring Larsson in on the right, he can get some good crosses in. That's what I just don't understand, you know? And quite frankly, you know, even if you put Larsson on the... There you go, Larsson on the left. And for God's sake, start Duncan Watmore. What have you got to lose? You know, half the shower of shite you've bought aren't playing that well anyway. So there we go, Larsson on the left. And then put Watmore on the right. Easy. You know, he scored again for the under-21s. What more does this guy have to do to get a start? He comes on as a substitute. Great, yeah, the fans love it. I will guarantee, if the fans saw Watmore's name on that starting 11 list, my God, the roof would be off that stadium. West Ham wouldn't know what hit them, literally. And then up front, Defoe and Barini. You know, he's been using Barini a lot, more of an attacking midfield role. But to be honest, I find he's more of a striker, you know, and give Barini a free roam. You let him, you know, let him drift about wherever he wants. And the best thing is, you know, you could even switch Barini with Watmore. Watmore's more attack-minded midfielder, yes, but you know, I wouldn't say he's a striker, but you know, you could easily switch the roles around as well. You confuse the defence a little. It's not really that hard. Defoe, he's a poacher. He'll go in for scruffy as hell goals. And it doesn't matter. You get a scruffy goal and a 1-0 win, you've got the win. Who gives a shit? You will not hear me complaining, that's for sure. So, right. Now, here's the problem. And here is the man to watch for the match. Payet. This guy is fucking lethal. Honest to God, he really is. He's that lethal. If you were to give him a gun with one bullet and tell him to kill 100 men, he'd somehow find a way to do it. No word of a lie, he would. That is how deadly he has been for West Ham so far this season. He is going to be the man to watch, easily, without a shadow of a doubt. He's got pace. As for turning on the ball, Jesus Christ, boy, can he turn on the ball and run. I mean, you've never seen anything like it. It's like someone's threatening to shove a stick up his arse and he's gone. See ya. Bye. Not even a bye. Gone. You know? So he's going to be the one to watch. And this leads me on to the prediction. Now, while in my heart I'd love to see just any form of scrappy, it could be the most boring game in the world. For the, you know, I don't care. I would love in my heart to see a 1-0 win for Sunderland. Is it doable? Yes. Could West Ham steamroller us if we defend shit? We'd be looking at a worse scoreline than fucking Leicester and Man U put together. If we do defend shit, put it that way. And my head has to say 0-0. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a drab, boring, fall asleep 0-0 draw. I think it's going to be entertaining. This one has midfield battle really written all over it. You know, I don't really think so much defensive. Don't get me wrong, defenders obviously they will be called in. Obviously, you know, I think we're going to see quite a lot of long range shots. We're going to see a lot of through balls, especially when it comes to Barini. If he plays, you know, it's one of those sticky ones that even though Sunderland have been playing shite, West Ham's run will come to an end as well. It really will, and it just depends when that end's going to be. You know, could it be at Sunderland? Who knows? You don't know whether this will be the game where Lady Luck will finally shine her charms on us. You know, you just don't know. You know, and that's the funny thing about football, isn't it? You never know what results are going to be. Who would have said last weekend that Spurs would go in half-time 1-0 down and then steamroller Manchester City in the second half? And Harry Kane scored. Harry Kane. I'm sorry, he's been shite all season. Harry Kane scoring against Manchester City has to be the most embarrassing thing for City this season. And I've always said it, I do rate him as a player, but you know, that's the thing, you never know with football. You never do know. So why not? But yeah, so I'm going for 0-0. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about team selection. Comment below, as always. And there's only one final thing to say. It's as simple as this. Away the lads, come on!